Welcome. This is a product overview of ComplianceForge's physical security plan, which we call the PSP. Over the next few minutes, we will walk through what it is, what problems it solves, exactly what is included, and why physical security documentation matters. The PSP establishes processes that will help minimize or avoid physical security and environmental risks. It is delivered as editable Microsoft Word and Excel templates, which enables tailoring for your organization's specific needs. And it provides immense time and cost savings because the policies and standards require minimal effort to customize. Auditors and frameworks like CMMC do not stop at digital controls. They expect documented physical security too, from facility access to environmental protections. If an assessor asked for your physical security plan, could you produce one that maps to the requirements, or is physical security still an afterthought? Writing it from a blank page pulls time from the teams focused on network and data security. The PSP gives you a running start. Editable Microsoft Word and Excel documentation, covering physical access, facility, and environmental security controls, ready to map to your compliance obligations. It gets you roughly 80 to 90% of the way there, and then you tailor it to your facilities and operating environment. For defense contractors, there is a specific reason this document matters. One of the greatest issues within cybersecurity maturity model certification and CMMC third-party assessment organizations is reading into requirements, specifically around Section P.11 of the CMMC assessment process, known as the CAP. Section P.11 can be found on page 10 of the CAP. It states that framing the assessment involves determining assessment locations, including what security requirement objectives might be assessed virtually or in person on the premises. The lead assessor should consider the optimal logistical approach for implementation validation of the following 18 CMMC security requirement objectives to ensure adequate assessment scope and depth. The first of these objectives cover physical access restrictions associated with changes to the system, controlling the personnel used to conduct system maintenance, securely storing paper and digital media containing controlled unclassified information, and marking that media with applicable CUI markings and distribution limitations. They also require that physical access to organization systems, equipment, and operating environments is limited to authorized individuals. The remaining objectives require that the physical facility where organizational systems reside and the support infrastructure for those systems are both protected and monitored. Visitors are escorted, and visitor activity is monitored. Physical access devices are controlled and managed, and collaborative computing devices provide indication to users of devices in use. One note: for CMMC-scoped environments that do not have physical or environmental controls due to a cloud environment or other factors that negate conducting an on-site portion of the assessment, the applicability of these requirements should be addressed between the organization and the assessor in Phase 1. So what exactly is the PSP? It was created with the intent to minimize risk to your organization's systems and data by addressing applicable physical security and environmental concerns, and establishing processes that will help ensure physical security and environmental risks are minimized or avoided. And although it is tailored toward cybersecurity, it can be taken and modified by other departments to create more of a global physical security plan that spans the entire organization. Coverage spans facility access control, visitor management, environmental controls, monitoring and surveillance, security alarm devices, and the operational procedures that translate policy into day-to-day physical security practice. It is intended for organizations of any size that need formal, audit-defensible physical security documentation without spending months building it from scratch. The PSP also includes an organization-level cybersecurity risk management program reference, so the physical security controls integrate cleanly with your broader cybersecurity risk program. The PSP is a one-time purchase of editable Microsoft Office-based documentation templates. There is no software to install, no agent to deploy, no account to provision, and no cloud environment to configure. If your organization can open and edit Microsoft Word or Excel files, the PSP is ready to use. It is delivered as fully editable Word and Excel files, compatible with Word 2016 and newer, Microsoft 365, OpenOffice, LibreOffice, and Google Workspace. Documentation is delivered via email download link within 1 to 2 business days of purchase. There is no installer, no license server, and no activation step. And it is a one-time purchase. A single entity license is included, with no recurring subscription requirement, although an optional update subscription is available to stay current as frameworks evolve. This deployment model is intentional. Physical security documentation benefits from being in your organization's own hands, inside your own document management systems, rather than locked inside a vendor's SaaS tool. Once delivered, this product belongs to you. Organizations face common physical security documentation challenges, and the PSP is designed to address them with a defensible, audit-ready baseline. The first is a lack of formal documentation. Most organizations have informal physical security practices, but lack formal documentation. That leads to audit findings, inconsistent execution, and gaps that surface during third-party assessments or insurance reviews. The second is audit and compliance pressure. External assessors, certified assessment organizations, and customers increasingly expect to see formal physical security documentation as part of due diligence reviews, especially around CMMC physical access objectives. The third is time and expertise constraints. Writing comprehensive physical security documentation requires expertise in facility access control, force protection, and environmental controls that most internal cybersecurity teams lack the capacity to develop in-house. And the fourth is the need for a defensible baseline. Even sophisticated organizations benefit from a professionally written baseline that has been reviewed by law enforcement with physical security experience, rather than writing the entire plan from a blank page. The PSP addresses each physical security documentation challenge with concrete, measurable outcomes. It is designed to take your organization from a blank document to a defensible, customizable physical security plan in weeks rather than months. The first is comprehensive coverage. The PSP covers the full scope of physical security and environmental controls that auditors and certified assessors expect to see, including facility access, visitor management, monitoring, alarm systems, and operating procedures. The second is time savings. The PSP compresses what would otherwise be months of internal effort into weeks of customization. Most orders ship within 1 to 2 business days, so you can start customizing right away. The third is an expert-reviewed format. The documentation is written to withstand scrutiny by external assessors and has been reviewed by law enforcement with experience in physical security and force protection, plus certified assessors familiar with how these plans are evaluated in practice. And the fourth, it is editable for your environment. All content is delivered in editable Microsoft Office formats with clear guidance on what to customize for your specific facilities, environmental conditions, and operational context. So what do you actually receive? The PSP is a one-time purchase that comes with a combination of editable Microsoft Word and Excel templates. There is no software to install. The main PSP document is an editable Microsoft Word document covering the physical security policy, a facilities listing, a physical security points of contact list, an applicable natural and man-made threats list, a physical access control measure list, and more. And the supporting document is an editable Microsoft Excel document containing a physical security device inventory that includes physical security cameras, physical access devices, security alarm devices, and more. Now compare that against the two alternatives for obtaining quality physical security documentation. For your internal staff to generate comparable documentation, it would take them an estimated 40 internal staff work hours, which equates to a cost of approximately $3,000 in staff-related expenses. That is about 1 to 2 weeks of development time, where your staff would be diverted from other work. If you hire a consultant to generate this documentation, it would take them an estimated 25 consultant work hours, which equates to a cost of approximately $7,000. That is about 3 to 5 days of development time for a contractor to provide you with the deliverable. The PSP is approximately 20% of the cost for your internal staff and approximately 10% of the cost for an external consultant to generate equivalent documentation. The plan itself is $900. The PSP is built to be evaluated before purchase. A PDF example on the product page shows representative content, so you can assess the quality and structure of the documentation before placing an order. So how much work is left for you? ComplianceForge aims for approximately an 80% solution because it is impossible to write a 100% cookie-cutter document that can be equally applied across every organization. Physical security depends on the specific facility, the surrounding environment, and the threat model, so the remaining work is fine-tuning the PSP with the specific information that only your organization knows. In practice, customization is filling in the blanks, adding your company name and logo. Describing the facilities in scope. Naming the physical access control technologies in use. Tailoring environmental control parameters, such as temperature and humidity ranges. And removing sections that do not apply to your organization. If you want a hand, ComplianceForge offers optional professional services. They are not required to customize ComplianceForge documentation. The 5-hour bundle may be beneficial for companies that need some guidance on getting started with how to tailor their documentation. The 10-hour bundle is for companies that need additional guidance on tailoring their documentation to meet their compliance requirements. And the 20-hour bundle is for companies that need robust services beyond just 10 hours to assist in tailoring their documentation. Purchased professional service hours expire 120 days, or 4 months, from the time of purchase if unused. Hours are intended to supplement, not replace, your own customization work. There are more reasons to buy. Formal physical security documentation has become a baseline expectation across regulatory, contractual, and customer due diligence contexts. CMMC 2.0 assessments call out physical access objectives, and certified assessors increasingly request formal plans to confirm these objectives are met in practice. Insurance underwriters also routinely ask for physical security documentation when scoping cyber insurance coverage. Organizations without a formal physical security plan face audit findings, lost contracts, and elevated insurance premiums. The PSP provides a complete, defensible physical security baseline that can be customized to your facilities, environmental conditions, and threat model in weeks rather than months. Most cybersecurity documentation templates are written by cybersecurity authors. The PSP is different. It has been reviewed by law enforcement with direct experience in physical security and force protection, which means the document reflects how facility access, perimeter control, and incident response are actually practiced, rather than how they read in a textbook. It has also been reviewed by certified assessors who know how physical security documentation is evaluated during CMMC assessments, DIBCAC reviews, and insurance underwriting. This combined review approach is why the PSP holds up under scrutiny and is positioned as a defensible artifact for your physical security program. If you have any questions, please email support@complianceforge.com or call 1-307-241-8740. We've been helping organizations since 2005, and we are always happy to help.